Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening. Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. I'm your host, North or Jason Smith.
And I'm Brandon Frazier or Daveen Owen.
And I am Chris or Ambassador Eric the Red Bloodzerker.
Bloodzerker.
Was that better this time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I've actually been working on my DJ voice during this week.
Can I hear it?
Welcome to PHLARP. This is your DJ, Chris. Welcome. Have a great day. It is nice outside. The weather is a nice 82 degrees. It is Sunday, May 28th, 2023, 7:39 p.m. The traffic is light, and we appreciate you.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Were you not using your DJ voice when you first started, though?
No, I was not.
It did sound similar.
Okay.
Mm.
Because you said I've been practicing my DJ voice, and it made it sound like that was the voice you were using to begin with, but then you just used like a totally different.
Yeah.
It was good, though.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah,
it was
stick with
great.
that one.
Like when I do my morning streaks on Snap,
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
While I like,
You have morning streaks on
You get that
Snaps?
streak going.
dude, I've got one. It's like
That's hilarious.
almost 400 days.
I mean, congrats, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Congratulations.
I barely know what that is. Barely. I do know what it is.
You know what a
but
streak is?
Yeah.
It takes
you just get
3
on there.
days to get a streak.
Yeah, and you just put a little S on it, right, to show that it's a streak.
I mean, some people do that.
yeah, that's what I've seen. I don't know.
I usually, never mind.
Usually wipe.
So anyway,
Are we ready for
we can do Daveen's Corner. Daveen's
Corner?
All right, let me see here. I got a couple jokes over here that I saved because I wouldn't remember them, obviously. Okay, here's what we got. Oh, that's not it.
Okay, I'm ready.
No,
I'm ready.
you're going to have to slow your roll a little
okay.
bit. Okay, all right, here's the first one. How do you make an egg roll?
Push it.
You push it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so you got the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job, bro.
The next
Still
one
pretty
is,
funny, though. I thought
It
that one was
was.
good.
what do you call a sad strawberry?
I don't know.
A blueberry.
Oh, my God, dude. Wow.
Oh, well, I mean, I got some more stuff here we can roll with, okay?
You got it for days, huh?
So last week, the three of us, we played Two Truths and a Lie.
Mhm.
Okay.
I played Three Truths, apparently,
Yeah.
for no reason. but-
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that, but whatever. So I have some like brain teaser questions
Ooh.
for you guys.
Okay.
So we'll go with those and see.
Sort of like a
basically what
riddle.
Yeah, similar, okay? So this one is like, okay, a girl fell off a 50-foot ladder but didn't get hurt. How so?
She hit a trampoline.
No. Good guess, though.
I don't know.
She fell off the bottom step.
Are these designed to see if we're stupid?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
the answer is
we are.
always yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll think
thank
about these
you.
a little differently.
All right. So this one is funny, too. You may have heard this one, but I like it anyway. If a plane crashes on the border between the United States and Canada, where do they bury the survivors? The plane crashes on the border
I know
of the
the
U.S.
answer.
and Canada. Do you know the answer?
I'm going to get logical here.
Yeah?
Wherever their family wants them.
Okay. You know the answer. Go ahead and tell him where he made his mistake.
You don't bury survivors.
Got him.
Oh, you said. Wow. Oh,
Wherever their family wants them.
shoot me right
All
in the
right.
face.
I got two more, and then we'll move on from
Okay.
Daveen's Corner. This one says, how can a girl go 25
Bro,
days
you got
without
something
sleep?
on your thing. fuck was that,
I don't know.
I don't
it's
know.
still on
You know
me.
what we forgot to do?
It's like a weird bug.
That's all right.
We
I
forgot-
knocked it off.
That's
It's
good.
off.
You guys saw that?
It was
I
a
fought
crazy
that
bug.
for you guys.
Yeah,
We
Anyway.
forgot to check our mics, but I'm good.
I'm good.
I think I'm good. So anyway, this one says, how can a girl go 25 days without sleep?
Is she on meth?
No. Good point.
I don't know.
She sleeps at night.
Okay.
Okay. Last one.
I'm an idiot.
Last one.
This is actually.
Now this is meant to
hard.
like make people sound stupid. 100%.
It's working. It's
Hello.
working.
All right. So this one is, if it takes 8 men 10 hours to build a wall, how long would it take 4 men?
Foreman?
Yeah, like
Is it like
4 men.
wordplay,
No,
like
no, no,
foreman?
no.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
20 hours.
Make me look stupid.
No time because the wall was already built.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Did we have a former president build that wall?
He built part of a wall. Well, actually, he probably didn't build any of the wall. But
All right, and that was
Daveen's
Corner.
I don't know what's up with the hand waving, but
Jazz
I don't know.
hands.
Jazz hands.
Nice.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we can get our video editor to put some.
Put some sparkles like maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna get radical here.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I think we should do the suggestion box
First.
Yes.
First?
All right.
First.
I'm with it. I'm with it. They were kind of pre-screened. This
A little bit,
week's
yeah.
suggestion box is very different
It's-
than former weeks.
It is.
It's spicy.
I will say to our listeners out there, this is going to be one of the spiciest episodes we've ever had. So definitely sit back, put your seatbelts on,
And get a glass of milk.
get some milk. You're gonna need it. Oh wait, can they even see North, or is it just his head?
How is that relative?
Because he's in a green suit.
Oh, I understand. I get it. That's funny. And you know what? You guys got me. Right back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
All right.
These are a lot, bro.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm not. Going
Make sure you're screening your own stuff if one's wild.
The gods speak. They warn of a coming tragedy, one that will shake up everything. I fear a great winter is approaching. Here, I'm gonna read this again in character. The gods speak. They warn of a coming tragedy, one that will shake up everything. I fear a great winter is approaching. Oh, sounds ominous.
Mm.
Oh, that one's
All right. What do you got over there?
For the record, Aja was not the giver of the shield bash, but the receiver.
So to take a minute for this, the other person did talk to me about this. Basically, they said that they weren't the ones receiving a shield bash. They were actually shield bashing Aja, and he was cool about it.
Oh.
That was the clarification.
And also to clarify, let's not shield bash people.
Right. We
So-
still shouldn't shield bash people, but it was cool that he, you know.
Right. He was a good sport about it.
Right.
Okay, this one says, now keep in mind, these weren't written by us. This one says, you call yourself Valkyrie, but can you even fly? That's what it says.
Rose.
This one says, Rand is the most passive clan lord. He needs to put his foot down and take more of a stand. Be more assertive, Lord. And the Lord's all underlined, like very serious.
Wow. This says today was great. TDM. What is TDM?
I don't know.
Switches made it interesting. TDM switches made it interesting.
Team deathmatch.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I would have never put that together.
Yeah, me neither.
Not very smart. This one says, you're smart
Well,
enough to be a wizard,
assuming.
but stumble on your own 2 feet? Question mark. These are rude. These are bad.
Yeah.
Yo, like for real.
Somebody went savage in the suggestion box.
Oh, well, this one's just nice. So here we got a nice one
Okay,
in here.
good.
Okay,
Maybe
we
we
got a
should
nice
save
one.
that for the end.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Let me get a spicy one. It says, dude, I actually love this one. I read this one earlier. Okay. The waters enjoy watching the battle as much as Black Rose. I have no idea who enjoys avoiding fights more. At least Erden will fight, although he has to backstab for his kills. Dang, so 3 people got took down with that.
Dang, that's brutal.
This is they put Lucian and then IDFK because they put Beckett only used a bow and it avoids any sword fights. You need to practice with your group before you end up lost again.
Okay.
Damn.
No, that's pretty
Okay.
savage. This one says, the letter writer is only trying to get under our skin. Let his arrogance be our rallying cry. Let's send this arrogant person away in shame. Make hole tighter.
Thanks. He's got to get very serious, and then at the end, make hole tighter. This one says, Wilhelm is a cleric who is willing to heal his enemies just to avoid conflict. Dang.
All Black Rose can do is blindly push. Maybe they should stop and use their brain. But they put, instead of their, they put their. THERE.
So who's the real problem?
Yeah. So apparently they need to go to use spelling.
Fair enough.
They need to go use spelling.
They need to go use
They need to
spelling.
go use spelling. Like, what is that? Spell check.
Oh, man. Okay. I got, where is all the clan work at? Do you all even work as a clan or just as a group who shield walls or has to backstab? I don't like you passing stuff to me. It was like, oh, that one's rough. I don't want to read it.
I don't want this one. Take it.
This one says, so much for a king. If you want to be king so bad, why kill everyone you can see in sight? You had to switch to healer because without a shield, you're way too vulnerable. Dang.
I do not agree to this, but I'm impressed by
I agree
Daveen.
with all these.
His roleplay in combat today was on point. Bravo. I do not agree.
Thank you, whoever
Oh,
that was.
Okay, yeah,
Appreciate
you're right.
ya.
I don't agree with that.
Whoa.
I don't agree.
Whoa. Did you not see me kill Lord Reese today and go, get some in his face?
Oh, is that your
that was awesome.
Was that your play of the day?
No, actually, if we want to talk play of the day, take a small break from this. Now, I feel like we've been talking about him lately a lot, okay, when it comes to play of the days. But I saw a sick kill from Magnus today on Lord Rand.
Oh.
It was a throwy, but it just slipped past his shield just barely somehow and hit him. Or no, it was on Trinity because it was such a good shot that Trinity even looked at him and was like, dude, good shot. Like, it was amazing. It was like one of the best throwy kills I've ever seen. So that's
Nice.
my...
So that's your play of the day?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
to Magnus. So anyway, this one says, where is Lady Vix? She is always in the tavern. You can't expect to train or lead while avoiding the battlefield.
Dang.
Yikes.
It's getting hot up in this
God,
bitch.
this was just
I
brutal.
feel like
somebody-
somebody really thought these out and just filled the...
All right. This one says, oh my God, some of these are so brutal. Both of these are brutal. This one's against everybody, though, so I'll read this one first. Why is everyone afraid to show their true colors? Take your masks off, you low-class lords, and stand up for what you desire. Stop being so weak.
Hey, do you know what we forgot to get before we came in?
Some milk?
Marshmallows.
Yeah, that's fair, too.
Okay, so this one is just wanted to get clarification on if Blood Pact is considered an ailment and can be removed by
By cure ailment.
cure ailment. Thanks in advance.
I'm not sure about that one still, but I asked them to put this in the box so that I could research it and check. But I think from just looking at it, I haven't looked it up yet, so I could be wrong about this. But I'm pretty sure it is not considered an ailment. But I haven't looked it up,
Right.
so I will.
Well, the other thing, too, is
Just out here spreading misinformation.
we also can't have a situation where things don't fall in any category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say Blood Pact doesn't fall within ailment. Where does it fall?
Like, how do you remove it?
Yeah.
You kill him.
I feel like there should be another way. That's just my thought process.
Like the healing
though.
abilities some of them do just straight kill undead.
I
Right.
know. Some
And
paladin
so
abilities.
it would be like removing it. But I don't think Cure Ailment specifically would just cause them to like fall
And I'm
over
not
dead.
even talking about just cure ailment. I'm just talking about
Any ability.
yeah,
Yeah, she needs to have a counter, basically.
with dispel magic, something.
Right. Actually, Cure Ailment for that reason might fall under it. But I need to look.
That's fine.
So
Let's move on.
I'll set this one aside.
I
Okay.
don't want to read this one. I refuse. I'm not reading that out loud.
Okay.
I think it's too rude.
Yeah, I think they were trying to do a roleplay thing, but it wasn't very
yeah,
nice.
it's just
so.
yeah, no, not on that one.
Okay.
Is it my turn to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ye Futin switches skills and classes as if it's going out of style. Why is it you target your own clan mates? I mean,
Dang.
what event? Is it Last Man Standing? Because he's supposed to do that. I don't
Mhm.
know what event we're talking about here, but also it sounds like he's playing the correct way. Oh, God, I have more.
This one says Jonathan Trapp is a ranger, but only can use his bow. Without it, he's no threat to anyone.
I mean, to be fair, isn't that what a ranger is?
I mean, when I was a ranger, I'm just
Stop,
kidding. I'm just
stop.
kidding.
I can't even with you sometimes. Oh, okay.
Pius is as skilled as a small child and definitely needs training.
Dang. He's as skilled as a small child.
Well, on that, Trinity is a champion warrior, but chooses to only use a polearm. If you're a so-called warrior, where is your arsenal?
You guys still got some? Okay, let me have one.
I
from
got two
somebody.
more.
I got
Can Magnus even fight at all? All I see him do is throw daggers and run away. Can he even swing his swords? Dang.
Valkyrie's costume was awesome. Congrats.
Yeah,
So-
agreed. I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
we'll get to that too, the
Yeah.
costume contest. But I mean,
Mhm.
she did win first place in the costume contest for a reason. Those wings were sick.
Yeah.
This one says, and this is a good thought. I think this is something we should spend at least a couple minutes on here, if it's necessary.
Okay.
This says, I don't think you should be able to move at all if you have no legs, kneeling or not. If you have a shield, kneeling actually makes you harder to kill. And, well, this says in real life. I don't care about that. But in real life, if you had no legs, you wouldn't be able to walk on the nubs.
Okay.
So,
I would agree with that only if you might not end up with two people standing on the battlefield with no legs, unable to get near each other. I think in a situation like that, you almost have to have the ability to be able to move around a little bit, or you're going to end up in a weird like stalemate where you're like, what do you do?
that's fair.
Yeah.
Is there another solution for that, though? Or am I overcomplicating
I mean,
it?
we could just pull them all together and say, all right, get close enough, and then we're going to say go.
I mean,
and then you defend or
yeah.
whatever, yourself. That's the only
I
thing I
also
would
don't know how often that happens.
I would know to do.
Yeah.
But it is something to consider. But, all right, I'm good with that. We can move on. I do kind of agree, though. Because there are some people that literally are not capable of doing that. And there is like a serious advantage for those that are.
But that would be the pro versus con of it. If you can move around on your knees and you choose to do that, then yeah, you can still move around, kind of roll around and do all kinds of wild shit.
That's true.
But if you can't do that, then the downside is you can't like move around at all, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're going to choose to forego. And also, I mean, personal protective equipment will help. Like if you get like actual knee pads to be able to roll around,
Or
on, it'd be
max
way
or whatever.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just something to think about because I do think it is kind of an unfair advantage to the people that
That literally
have
can't.
young knees and can nub around out there. I did it today. I'm like, man, this is brutal.
Mm.
I'd rather just sit down and place.
Then you could. You just
I
couldn't
did.
move, right?
I seen Hakamura today. He was just like trying to nub around, and
Is-
then he was like rolling.
And also, I would say like it's kind of like that ability tumble. Like not everybody can do that. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
not going to
can't.
take it out of the game just
No, I
because
agree.
only
Right.
some people can do it. Of course, then you could choose to not take that ability, I guess. But you can't really choose to forego the leg thing. But I don't know.
Your turn.
Something to think about.
Yeah,
Nonetheless.
I'm not completely, saying no, but
Nonetheless.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually,
how catchy it is?
recently in a movie or something or a show or something, I heard someone make that expression. I'm like, man, it is a real expression.
nonetheless,
Nonetheless.
We're bringing it back.
none the more.
Gag me with a spoon.
Isn't it?
Anyway, you got one?
Yeah, I have. And I did save my couple positive ones, so I might have more
I
than I
saved
seemed
a
like.
good question one for my last
Okay.
one.
I'll just go ahead and read the positive one first because the other one's a question.
Okay.
This one says great. So this is like a good one. Great sportsmanship today. It was nice to see good teamwork and role play. P.S. Congrats on the costume contest, Valkyrie.
Agreed.
Cool. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so my last two are questions.
Okay.
Magnus and Reese, make me wonder. Power couple? Question mark.
Okay.
That's funny.
So,
A little awkward.
yes.
I don't know what Magnus and Reese are up to, so I can't add any information to this at all. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. So
So there you go.
Yeah. All right.
I will say though, through the week they did meet and actually practice here at my house.
I bet they did.
And I don't
Was
know
he
how many.
feuding here too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
And
I saw that.
And I don't know how many other clans are doing that, meeting outside of regular hours. So.
And on that point,
Practice
we
is kinda
did
cool.
back in the day. That was a long
Mhm.
time ago, but that was like weekly, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said that's what we did back when we were in a clan.
Yeah. When we were Knights of Oblivion and Night Watch, right?
And we'd meet and through the week.
It was a good time.
That's how King of the Ring literally got invented.
Yeah, it was our training regimen.
Yeah, it was us training, right? Anyway, we're awesome. Okay.
I just have the one left. It is a pretty good question. I can ask it now if you guys want to. But it's to the marshals. What are the standards a lord/lady is held to?
I'm pretty sure when they took the Lord and Lady oath that they're held to the highest standards.
It's true.
That they are supposed to be what defines a character, what is expected of a player.
Like as an example to the other
they're
players.
yeah, they're supposed to be like an inspiration to all players.
Mm-hmm.
So they're supposed to adhere to all the rules. They are supposed to protect the town of Darvashan.
Sure.
And they are supposed to, not only be an inspiration, but also, like you had said, they are supposed to be the example.
Right.
So,
I mean, okay, let me ask you a follow-up question then to this. Do you feel like those expectations are being met by our current lords? Without singling
Without
anybody
getting
out.
specific.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Of course.
I
of
would
course.
say.
Because let me tell you what my when
Take
I
on
hear
it.
that question, what would I expect out of myself as a lord?
yeah.
It's all on me, all of it.
Mm.
I'm shouldering everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm providing costumes. I'm providing weapons. I'm providing ability lists. They need to show up at a certain time.
In exchange for them, right, having good attendance.
You want to be in my clan? You're going to be here. You're going to role play. You're going to wear the costume. Those are that's it. That's, you know what I mean? That's the top stuff. And I feel like if I had people that didn't follow that example that I wanted, they wouldn't be in my clan. If that means I have to drop to 3 people, I'll drop to 3 people.
Yeah.
And I will say that I feel like some of the clans out there right now, some of them are doing it well, and some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And for those clans that don't have people showing up regularly and those kind of things, I would be replacing those members with whoever.
Just anybody that's regular.
Yeah.
To be honest,
to me,
that's
it doesn't even
the
have
most important thing.
100%. I want somebody that's going to be there every Sunday, that's going to role play when I ask them to, and is going to dress up in costume.
Mm-hmm.
I
And it's
agree.
a cost, like you said. If it comes down to it, it's a costume that you provide.
Yeah.
You're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll buy your.
Everyone's
costume,
going to be
but-
in costume. I'll tell you a quick story. This was a long time ago, probably 2013, 2014-ish. Okay, I was running a clan called the Knights of Oblivion. And some of my members weren't in costume. So I had all of them costumes made, and I mean all of them. And we were playing an event or something. It was a hot day. And I had several members of my clan not participating, sitting down playing card games, not wearing their costumes. And these are costumes I provided with my own money, my own time, my own effort. And they weren't even like giving me the respect of wearing the costumes, and I lost it. And I don't know that all of our current lords would have that same mindset, and I feel like as a general rule they need to.
Right. So as marshals, I guess the answer to the question would be, or my answer to it would be like, as marshals, we don't really have too much standards outside of, hey, you know, you need to be trying a little harder than the average player about like getting on the same page as Phlarp being successful, like
Right.
thinking of it more long term, where when you have interactions with people, or you know, you're not always out there to just dominate or whatever. You're there to also provide a good example of role play and a good example of, you know, how to talk to a new person even, or you know, doing a really good job in initiation, things like that, or patrol or whatever. But like you said, as a lord, I think that quite a few of the clans out there could pick it up a little bit, like
Yeah.
as far as being more like kind of like what you were saying. Maybe some of them need to get rid of some players and try to get in other players that are
True.
more that are just there regularly. Like look at the XP list and be like, dude, you're here.
Yeah.
I want you in my clan because you're here every time. I'm going to give you a costume. I'm going to do everything you need to do. All you know, or for you basically. You just have to show up. If you
Right.
show up, you're doing, and listen to me when I'm telling you to do something. That's the most important stuff.
Right.
Like you're good.
Right.
I won't kick you out of my clan even if you mess something up because I gave you an order and it didn't play out like I thought it would.
Yeah.
You're not in trouble.
That's on me.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not judging people. That's the other thing too, and this might actually hurt some feelings, but I think it needs to be said. There are going to be some clans out there, again, not naming names, that you're not going to be able to beat.
Mhm.
Not in a very direct way. It's not going to happen. And I feel like there's a lot of clans right now that their focus is, how are we the most successful on the battlefield? And I think sometimes people need to shift their focus a little bit, because if I go out there with the mindset that I've got to be the best, I've got to kill everybody, I want to have the best clan, the most successful clan, I want to win every battle for the crown, that's great. There's going to be a lot of clans that do that, but you're not always going to be that clan. So if I can shift my focus to, I want people that show up, that look good, that role play every time, that we're having a good time regardless of whether we're winning or not, which is my goal as Brandon. I can have a good time regardless of whether I'm winning or not. And I feel like some people should shift focus just a little bit on that. So
Okay.
that's my thought process on it.
Okay.
Because not everyone's going to have the top clan.
I get it.
And like not feel like you're a failure of a lord if you're
Yeah.
losing sometimes here or there or can't back up
Sure.
the crap you be talking basically.
Yeah, there's going to be times like, you know, even today I'll use myself as an example. I try to pride myself as a decent fighter. If you got 6, 7, 8 people running at you, there's nothing you can do.
No.
So like, just don't take that in any kind of negative way, and just understand that sometimes it just be like that. And maybe I should shift focus and have a really good time at Phlarp in other ways. And it doesn't mean you can't like try.
Here's
like,
a good example.
Yeah.
Heston, whenever he knew he was going to die in Minion.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He was like, oh, I'm just going to like literally charge. I'm going to throw my magic stone and then I'm going to like do a cool roleplay death because I know I'm going to die. Like I'm going to try, but I'm basically going to die here. And instead of being like discouraged or like, oh, bummer, you know, I'm going to die or whatever, he was like, he knew going into it that he was giving them a cool roleplay death. Like, this is for you, basically, you know, my attackers. Here, watch me die all awesome, you know. And it made it to where he probably could take the death a little bit more and it not be like a slight, you know.
Yeah.
And he like laid there. It was really cool. Like
It was a good role play death.
And he does that. That's not the first time he's done that.
He does it a lot during Minion, or if he's like outnumbered dramatically, he just pulls out that axe and says for Valhalla,
He's like, for Valhalla, yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd be cool with everybody being like that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, what else we got? Let's get through these.
And there's even a few times where the people that came at him a little hard when he knew he was going to die anyway, and they kind of came at him a bit hard, you know. And whenever he was just trying to do like a cool roleplay death or whatever. Even today, I walked up to him and said, "Man, are you all right?" Afterward, he said, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was like, "All right." Okay, so I have this. It says here, I really enjoyed the team battle for clans against each other. Was the best fights I've been in. Great job to the clans. It was cool that we were able to keep them all in their clans and didn't have to combine 2 clans. What does it say on there? Oh, it's just the Zoetis thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to combine any 2 clans together.
True.
They were all able to like be in their own group, even if they weren't all full. And 2 of them were full. We didn't put like anybody, I think, in the Watchers or the
Black Rose.
Yeah.
Black Rose, yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
All right. So, I didn't know the marshals wanted to kill the hero so badly. Daveen was supposed to be helping, but it seems he's too bloodthirsty.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, if you got a problem with me fighting, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to continue to do that. So.
Perhaps Daveen thought he was getting rusty, and
that's
you
true.
know, for the town, he had to test his skills
That's
against
true.
the heroes. You know?
I need the heroes to understand that when the orcs and the goblins and the ogres are at our door, that I'm going to be there fighting with them. And if they don't know I can fight, they don't know to trust me.
No,
Hell
that's
yeah.
true.
You know, so I had to go out there, show my skills just a little bit, not a lot,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Okay.
And now they know, hey, when those guys are there, when those monsters are at the door, Daveen's going to have our back.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
so that's what that's about.
Hell yeah,
And listen, again, if you got a problem with me fighting, don't.
bro. Come at me, bro. Don't. Don't. All right, last one. What do we got?
This one's a question. It says, "What are some of your favorite RP moments since Phlarp started back up?" I think mine is probably when Wilhelm had to go get a cookie.
Yeah, but speaking of which, North looked at me today and was like, "Do you want to go get a cookie?" I was like, "No, I don't."
There was a cool roleplay moment today, though, with one of the newer people. This isn't necessarily one of my favorite ones, but he did a really good job. He was trying to figure out, because he asked me, he said, "I want to do like a roleplay thing." And I said, "Well, look, around here, we just kind of do it. We basically,
Just
we don't,
improv.
as long as he knows a little bit of what you're going to do." And he said, "Oh, he knows," or whatever, because it was with Jonathan.
Right, it was the two Trap Brothers, which
Yeah,
is
and
new
they had-
information. There's Trap Brothers.
Yeah, they had ran back into each other, and they had like a little dispute. And even it didn't play out exactly like they had planned, apparently, but it was still all good.
Yeah,
so
it was all good.
I just thought that was kind of cool how they, they did a good job of
Yeah,
role playing.
yeah, I thought so too.
Mhm.
And the only other thing is, I really do like set stuff, like when you have something planned, like a conversation or whatever. But also, you need to understand that at any moment, anyone can get involved in your role play,
That's true.
and you have to be ready to adapt when that happens.
And that was something I told him too. I said, you guys were in town, so it worked out okay. But if you ever do that outside of town, don't expect anybody else to like not mess with you while you're
Right.
doing it. Like you need to hire help or look out because people might just run in and kill you. And he's like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
And to be fair, this is something that even North and I both have learned from experience, because when we first started LARPing, that's all we did was like set, like, this is what you're going to say, this is what I'm going to say type
Yeah.
of stuff. And like eventually people would get involved and people would get mad about it. They're like, "Oh, no, you can't get involved in my role play." Well, that's not how it works.
And we
Like,
had
this
to,
is completely improv.
Just don't.
Just
like
don't.
whenever when I for my crown, whenever I got the crown, or also whenever just beating up Jason Fair, whenever I did that, we had him over by the amphitheater, and we did, or like out in campaign, and we did hire people to like stand around us so that if somebody gets involved, tries to get involved, kill him. Like
Yeah.
this is not,
And
we're not
they
messing
did.
around here, Yeah, it was probably you that I hired, honestly. Anyway.
Yeah, we hired all of the Knights of Oblivion.
You're right.
Um,
Hire mercenaries or whatever,
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
favorite RP moment.
And I think it's better like that anyway than the scripted stuff because it allows them people to be able to get involved and
Sure.
try.
It's way better than scripted stuff. Don't tell me I can't get involved. This is my world too, I'll tell you, this was pretty cool. And I really appreciate when he comes out, even though he doesn't come out regularly. We love it when he does. Takimura, every single time he comes up to me while I'm at the computer or whatever, he is in like role play. Like,
Oh yeah.
dude, he like came up to me today and was like, "Hey, I need logged in." And I was like, "Logged in?" Like I just like what? Like just like played stupid, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, like, just like mark me down as one of the townspeople that's here." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got you." Like, whatever. But like, and he just always role plays with me, and I think that's really cool.
You were talking about play of the day earlier. My play of the day, I think it was him that did it. He ran. It might have been somebody else. Now I can't remember who it was, but somebody was running up to Rand. I think it was, and Rand didn't. I think it was Takimura, and Rand didn't even. He didn't even really turn back.
I know what you're talking about.
But he like put his shield behind his
It was
back and
Jaeger,
did an
I
attack.
think, wasn't it? Or
No,
it was Takimura.
it was
Yeah,
Takimura.
And he just like slid and died. Like he just like slid, his feet slid off from underneath him, and he just laid there and died. or
Yeah, so he
whatever.
said
It was,
basically
awesome.
I guess Rand like felt him coming, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like as a fighter, you can kind of know when people are behind you sometimes.
his spidey
And
sense.
I guess
went-
his essentially, and he just like kind of shoved his sword behind him and just happened to stab him right in the chest. I'm like, that's kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah,
Then-
and today I actually gave him an RP point because he was running and he was like running towards Jonathan Trap. And Trap
we have to specify now.
Yeah,
'cause
now we
there's
have to
two, yeah.
specify.
The question is, do you know the other one's name?
Alexander.
I mean, that is right. It's Alexander J. Trap. So,
Bam.
okay.
So Jonathan had released his arrow and just out of nowhere, Taki Morris just like running and just fell backwards, slid on his feet, and just laid flat as it went right over his face.
Yeah,
Some
dang,
Matrix
he dodged
stuff.
it.
I was
Nice.
like, oh, yeah, you're getting it.
That sounds like Neo.
So
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But as far as RP, I don't have a favorite one. I guess it would be like, you know what? I do. It is me. I'm going to pull a north today.
Wow.
So it is
Cool.
me
Yikes.
for whenever every single
Cringe.
time that we have an issue, we turn around and we tell Wilhelm to get cookies,
Mm.
and then you and I sit there and eat popcorn and we'll throw it at each other. That's my favorite RP.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite.
I don't even know that that's RP.
It is.
I want to say what people do during initiation would be some of my favorite RP moments.
Mm.
Which
We didn't have one today.
Yeah.
no,
Which was disappointing.
and it's that's true, and it's not that's expected.
Yeah,
it's
that's
better
fair.
for the role play to be like more impromptu. Where we're not kind of pressuring them to role play more. And if I had to pick one of those moments, I think the most interaction we had was one of the brains games that we were setting up.
Mm.
And we really role played it really, really hard. We were like looking into everybody's eyes and trying to figure out who drank
Oh,
the
I remember
infected
that. That was pretty
liquid.
fun. Yeah.
And it was a really cool way to set it up because by the time the game actually got going, it made it like a nice role play transition into the game
Yeah.
where it wasn't just like, oh, we're calling brains. It was like
Yeah.
we're walking around looking at everybody,
True.
trying to figure out
Yep.
who's infected. Really, we're trying to figure out who's the starting zombies. But
No, I feel you. Do we want to recap?
Well, I think we should do a code word right now.
Ooh.
Though I don't have one off the top of my head, to be fair.
Um.
I just feel like it's a good time for a code
Today
word.
Mhm.
is a
Drop one
good
right in the middle.
time. Today is a good time. Wow. It is a good time.
Today
for
was a good time. It is a good time, sure. I'm having a good time.
You know what? Brain scramble, because right about now, that's what it is. My brain's a
brain
scramble.
scramble.
I mean, how do you use that in a sentence? I don't think that should be
my
the
brain
word.
got scrambled.
That's fine. Brain scramble's the word. Use it in a sentence. Make sure we know what you're talking
Scrambled
about.
egg brains. I mean, that's about it.
I will say today.
Brain scramble is the word, yeah?
Brain scramble.
That's what we're going with?
Mhm.
I mean, if
Okay.
that's what you want.
Brain
go ahead.
scramble. Anyway, today
That
what?
one might be a little easier to remember. Today, because we had said,
Right.
like, tell me if you're talking to me if I don't seem like I'm getting it. And they walked up and they were talking about backstabbing each other or whatever. And I was like, yeah, backstabbing. Yeah, whatever, And then they're like, do you know what we're talking about? And I was like, oh, I do now. And then I went and marked them.
Yep.
So be sure to make sure that we know what the heck you're talking about.
And maybe for future reference, we don't use something like backstab because that was difficult today. Because like people were saying it, but not as
Meaning
the code
it.
word.
Mhm.
It was a lot. So
Oh, and you had said something about the RP points. I want to, for the listeners and for people that weren't there today, we have always had a system where we can give out RP XP as a bonus to anybody playing in an event. If a marshal thinks they did good role play, we can say, hey, you did a good job. We're going to mark you for RP. Then we go over to the computer. We go by their name. We mark them for some RP XP. RP XP is equivalent to finishing in third in an event. So it's like, it's like a small
it's an ordeal.
increment.
It's hey,
Yeah.
that
but
adds
it's
up.
XP. And then, but what I usually do is I'll get into like the habit of doing it for 2 or 3 games, and then I'll like kind of forget, and we'll go weeks without really handing out any RPXP. So what we did today is every time for every game, the marshals that weren't playing, because like I played in one of them and you were playing in some.
I played in all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you couldn't do it today, but and I couldn't do it in the game. I tried to do it in the game that I was playing in, and one of the other marshals checked me. Valkyrie did. She's like, "Didn't you play in that one?" I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I can't give it out." But anyway. So what we've been trying to do instead is make sure that each marshal that is marshaling an event picks one person for that event to give their role play experience to, and just make sure at least they're handing it out to one person. And then
Yeah.
if that person is picked by another marshal, then we just change who the other, like we make sure not two people can get it. Although there were some people that would win the event and also get role play experience. That was happening.
It happens.
Yeah.
So, but it was kind of a cool thing because we would go up to the players afterward and be like, hey, I just want you to know you played in that game. I gave you my RP XP for that game. Like I did it to Takimura whenever he did that cool kill and stuff. And afterward he was like, oh, that's cool, man. Thanks, you know. And it's not much XP, but it's like a neat little thing to get a shout out from a marshal. Hey, you did a good job with
I
role
agree.
playing. And if they know it's out there, it might encourage role playing. So, I mean, anyway, that was it. I just wanted to like let everybody know we're going to try to do that from now on. So,
Yep.
I'm down with that.
All
it
right.
also kind of gives the marshals a thing to do to like watch out during the game and be like, oh yeah, I got to pick who I'm going to give my RP
Yeah.
XP to, you know.
Yeah. All right. So today we started with a costume contest,
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
that is true.
and we had
Man, we had some good entries today.
a
Agreed.
total of 10 entries, and we had very good entries. So we're gonna go with, in third place we had Lady Vix.
That's true.
Yeah,
And
she had
that
a
was like,
different
I think
type
that was
of
like
costume.
a homemade costume almost. I know
okay.
she said she had to make some adjustments to it before she showed up today. I think it was too long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very cool costume.
Yeah, it was. I
And
told her before the costume contest, I was like, man, your costume looks awesome.
in second place was our very own Mercer Stitch.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that was a homemade costume too.
Yeah.
All the costumes,
I'd be
I think.
surprised
they
to
all
find
were.
out that hers wasn't.
And in first place, ding ding ding, Valkyrie.
Yeah. Those wings were sick.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the wings did it, even
Yeah.
though she wasn't as impressed with them as she would have hoped to have been, because she was saying that they were like made of a material that she didn't expect them to be made of.
They
and
looked
stuff, but they looked
fantastic, yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
I'm not sure if we got pictures of that.
We got pictures of the top three
I actually
together.
sent them to the. I got a picture of all three of them, so you're probably looking at that picture now. Yeah. So
Okay.
there they are.
Jazz hands. So,
Okay.
Exploding hands.
Yeah, whatever that is.
all right, and then next,
Jazz hands, huh?
it was put to a vote on whether we wanted to do Last Man Standing as a warm up or if we wanted to do Scramble.
Yeah,
And
because
that
we
was
had
like
gotten
overwhelming.
we had
last
gotten
man standing.
a suggestion about trying Scramble first, and because we didn't have any new players, I thought, well, maybe they might be into that, and I kind of tried, and they weren't. But that doesn't mean I'm not like completely shut off
And
from
it
the
doesn't
idea.
mean we
but
can't
tried a
try it
little.
again
Right,
next
right,
week.
right.
But it did seem like overwhelmingly today.
People
People
just
are like
wanted
last
to go
man
ahead and
standing.
do the last man standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in third place we had Magnus. In second
Oh.
place we had Rand, and in first place we had Pius.
There
You
you
know
go.
who's not in those top three?
Heston.
Heston Iverson. I don't know where he placed, but I bet it wasn't too far outside of the top
I
three.
did hear Magnus during Last Man Standing start to talk to people and say he's finishing, and he was like calling him out on it. So maybe that was
Yeah.
maybe that's
I
part of
mean,
it.
it's-
They were trying
hey,
to kill
that's
him.
part. I've also heard Last Man Standing referred to as Last Rand Standing. So,
Oh dang!
and he did finish in the top three again. So, I don't think you can keep everybody out of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that
Well,
was a
that'd be
thing
new
that
target
happened.
next week.
All right, next we played Illidan's Gambit, and
We haven't played that one in a while.
we played 2 games.
Rand won.
Rand
both of
won
them.
both of them.
That's true.
And he did get lucky though. Like
Hey,
I mean,
luck's a
that
skill,
game
man.
is about luck. But
It is.
he only had it the first game. He only had it. Okay, what we do is we do like a last man standing. Whoever wins that gets to start with a weapon that drains life. So if you hit a limb, you heal a limb. If you hit a torso, you kill somebody or whatever, you get an entire full heal. And then it's like musical chairs. They start with that. People start resin back into the game 3 at a time until everybody's back out there. And then when the last person reses back in, we start a timer that the players don't know how long that timer is for.
True.
And as soon as that timer comes up, whoever's holding the weapon wins. If no one's holding the weapon, we go into overtime that we don't tell the players about, and then we wait until somebody else picks it up, and then they win. Well, Rand had gotten it. He won the last man standing and had it, but then he lost it like basically almost immediately.
Right.
And then the only other time he picked it back up in that first game anyway, I don't know about the second one, but the first one, the only other time he picked it up, he had it for seconds. He picked it up and started running, and he won, and then ran further because he didn't realize he won. He was still trying to get away from everybody, but he actually won like right after he picked it up, like
Yeah.
seconds.
Cool.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guess it was kind of luck, but it was also like you say, it took skill for him to get in there that second time too.
Absolutely, it did.
Yeah. And for RP points, I awarded Reese. Valkyrie awarded Daveen. North awarded Takimura. Thera awarded Trinity. And Xander awarded Wilhelm. So
Cool.
they got some RP points today.
Is it Thyra? Is that right?
Thyra, yeah.
Did
That's how you
What'd I
pronounce
say?
it.
Athera or something?
I'm not sure.
Thyra.
I missed it altogether, so.
Sort of like those survivors.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's just like the Survivors.
Just like survivors. All right. And then we had a very, very long team deathmatch. Okay. With this one.
Is this the first team deathmatch where we had 4 whole teams?
I believe so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which I did like.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit I was the
more-
first team out. I
kinda
still
feel like-
liked it.
I kind of feel like the more teams, the better, honestly, in
Yeah.
that game. Because
Yeah.
it makes it to where they can target each other and move around. It makes them where they can kind of have more freedom with what
For sure.
alliances they make and stuff. And it
There
not
were
be
alliances
so-
made
Yeah.
today. I
Mhm.
promise you that.
Mhm.
Especially at one point, I was like, "Oh, our people didn't respond. There's 3
Yeah.
of us."
Mm.
So,
This
but
is exactly what we didn't want to
Yeah.
happen.
So, we gave them a pool of 20 lives today.
mhm.
Yeah, because normally the last few times it's been 25.
I only got to use 2 lives today.
Dang.
There was a pool of 20 lives, and it came down to the wire.
Well,
Okay.
between 2
Between
teams.
2 teams, it came down to the wire. And the team that won was Lord Reese, Takimura, Yifuten, Gregor, Magnus, and Jaeger.
True.
And on that one, when Lord Reese won, he was speaking, I think, to whoever wrote that letter, the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was kind of saying it just in
He
general.
was
out
literally
into the
looking
void.
at
Yeah,
me.
he did
He
kind of look
was.
right at you.
Oh,
But
Like,
so to
and
whoever
like-
wrote that letter,
Yeah.
he was saying, "Ha ha ha! I can command a team because I won."
True.
yeah.
So there's
But
a
he
message
was
to
looking
that
at me,
writer.
and like in
Yeah,
role
he
play,
was.
I got mad. I was like, "You're accusing me?"
yeah.
But
yeah.
it's good times.
It took him a minute to like even figure out whether you were pretending or not.
because he was all like, "Calm down, bro," and he's like, "No," you were like, "No, not calm down."
Yeah,
and I was
I
like,
tried to like show him that I was role playing,
Yeah.
but it is difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially, I know sometimes I have like a very intense personality. It's hard to tell if I'm joking, but I wouldn't do that to him. So
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that he didn't realize instantly it was in role play.
"Right,
And also, like, I don't ever think of this either, but another thing that makes me instantly think about it whenever other people say it is like a class. Like, if they're like, I'll not be shit talked by
Right.
a rogue or whatever, and then
True.
you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I could always do better with that too.
Or just even using their character name if they're any kind of with it, they, or if they're, know you very well.
Right.
If you drop their character name, I'd be like, oh, okay, he's not.
yeah."
I kind of thought you were serious for just a minute, and then I was like, oh no, he's joking.
Yeah.
Not joking, but he is role playing.
I realized in my own head that he was confused,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I would like started saying some of the very like direct things that I was saying. I was
And
like,
you're
that's
like,
not
I'm good,
funny.
I'm good.
Right.
Like the town's being attacked. Someone's
Right.
trying to kill a lord.
Mhm.
Like, and so I was like using words and like phrases that I felt like he would pick up on.
And
And I
I
think
th-
he did get it eventually.
Yeah, I think that's once you started doing that, I
You
think
role
that's
played a
when he
little
picked on
too good.
it.
I've done it before too, and I'll do it again. But
Just
anyway,
don't.
All
so
right.
more RP points.
So RP points. I gave my RP point on that one to Takimura. Valkyrie gave it to Alexander Trap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thyra gave it to Rose.
Okay.
North gave it to Lord Reese. And Xander gave it to Trinity.
Cool.
And then next we had a game of Minion. I'm not even going to say who won that one. We all know.
Daveen won that one.
It's because we stuck him in a corner.
Wow.
He came out of his corner to
You,
win.
you really want to know what happened? It was just about me telling other people what to do. I didn't even do that much. That's the reality of the situation.
Mhm. The key to minion, okay,
Is just controlling your people.
getting your first like 2 or 3 minions to come back to you before you freaking die. Like,
Yep.
so tell them, hey, I'm gonna be waiting right here. You hurry up. You get right back to me, and then you avoid all fights until you
Mhm.
have like a group of 3 or 4 or whatever. And then, like you said,
true.
you start just commanding them. You start sending those 3, and if you lose one, as long as you get 1 or 2 or whatever in that situation, and pulling them back one like you did too. There was a couple times when that one time you eliminated a team, and you were like, okay, everybody get out of there, get out, pull back.
Well, there was like 2 of my guys that were about to get got.
Right.
And I
it
was
had turned
yelling
into
at them.
chaos because that team just got taken down. So it was their minions were just going crazy, killing each other.
But anyway, it worked out. That's the main thing. Is you just gotta, like he said, get
Control
a few
your
people
minions.
and hey, listen, you're fodder. I want you behind me. You're a good fighter. Stand in front of me, like literally.
Or when they start running off, doing their own thing, say, "Hey, where you going? You're my minion. Get back here."
And you have to do that with certain players.
Or they'll run off trying to be the hero or whatever.
Yeah, and you know what happens more often than not? They die.
Yeah.
And then you've just lost that.
Sometimes I
minion
feel like
with
they do
no
it on
gain.
purpose, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is whack. But
True.
anyway.
Hard to prove, but I agree. Some of them, I suspect. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that's the case.
Right.
Okay, and our last one that we played was 2 rounds of Pandemic Panic. And the first winner, or the first game, Heston and Pius won. They were the zombies. And the second one was Lord Rand and Yefuten. Now, I'm going to go back to the first game.
Okay.
Because...
Did you play in the first one?
No, I kind of did a false start on you guys.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
We were gonna roll with it. Me and you were rolling.
I was ready.
With it,
I mean, I knew I was losing, but like
Yeah.
I was ready to roll with it nonetheless.
Okay, so nonetheless, I like that. We're bringing it back. Okay, so these guys were in the quarantine zone, and they were arguing. They're an RP argument, and I'm like, okay. So as they're arguing, they're all, chittering and chattering and arguing and throwing temper tantrums.
Oh, wow.
So I put my hand behind me and I put up, 5, 4. And I look back and I see Pius looking at me because Pius and Heston were talking. And I look back and he's like doing this. And you guys are still going. Got all the way down to 1. Nobody says anything. And I was like, I just told them go. And they go in and they kill like 2 or 3 people. And Lord Rand was upset.
Was he?
He was upset, very upset. He's
that
like,
he had died immediately or whatever.
He
Probably that it was cheeky.
He was very cheeky. And he's like, nobody said go. Nobody said start. And I was all like,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
you probably
stop.
did the right thing
Just
by
stop.
just starting it over.
I was
I
like,
mean, I didn't
stop.
care, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you probably made the right call there.
yeah. So with that one, I mean, you guys were not ready, clearly, as if you guys ever are.
Is anyone
But-
ever ready for a zombie attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, now
So-
that I'm thinking about it, I think the reason why I like that one is because it is one of the most easiest ones to roleplay during. Like even during, you can be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
So
get
I mean,
together.
I was kind of trying to get some good RP, like you guys were RP arguing, and so I'm like, and like you said, are you ever really ready for a zombie attack?
I'm not.
So I'm like, well, why the heck not, dude? Just do it this way. So in future, if we play Pandemic Panic again, I feel that we shouldn't have a 3, 2, 1 go.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
It should be a silent count.
I mean,
And then they go.
assuming you've given the humans ample time to get ready.
Yeah.
I mean, today you probably could have just went with it. I think we had plenty of time.
Yeah.
I think some.
We were goofing off.
Yeah. So I mean, but
To be fair, also, anytime you put me and North in like the same event, we typically do goof off.
yeah.
So
But I mean, it nonetheless, it was still good. And some
None the
RPXP.
either.
Yeah. Some RP points were given. I gave it to Yefuten, and Valkyrie gave it to Pies.
cool.
And
Good for them.
I tried to give it to somebody, but then I was not able to because I
You
played it.
weren't allowed
because I was
to.
that would be cheating.
Fair enough. Well, that's the recap.
That's the recap.
Oh, and we had what was it close to 40 people today?
We had approximately 40 people out.
Nice.
We did have a bunch of spectators.
Yeah, if you counted all the other people that were there, like there was a player there that hadn't been there in a really long time. I don't know if you saw that, but
You talking about beach?
yeah,
Yeah.
He was there, and he had like 3 people with him that were kind of just watching too. And
Mhm.
I mean, as far as participating, I count that as you know,
Yeah.
if they're there just to watch and hang out, they're still participating in
Yeah.
Phlarp. in
And
my
they were
opinion.
invited back next week.
Okay.
Some of them were visiting from out of town, so it wouldn't be everybody, but even to get one of them back would be cool.
I agree.
Right.
I will tell you, now we both have quite the history playing Phlarp with Matt Beach,
Mhm.
and he was always a really, really fun player to play
Mhm.
with. He did the costume thing. He role played hard. For a while there, I think he might have been our absolute best ranger.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it'd be really cool to have him back as a player.
yeah, I agree. Love to have him back.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, a lot of players today. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have that with the weather.
Yeah.
I think it's going to continue to grow as the summer goes along.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
I'm really hoping by the end of the summer we're talking 70 players.
I hope
Right.
so. I really
So
do.
if you got everybody out that's been out there that's like been kind of inconsistent and whatnot at one time, we would have 70
Mhm.
players.
Right.
So, I have a message here, and this is from Wilhelm.
Okay.
Do we need to do announcements or anything first, or do you want to do that first? Because we'll still have
Let's-
announcements.
We
to
can
do.
end on announcements,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Sounds good.
This seems important. Let's get it.
This is a very important document.
Is that before or after the ones I got?
Before.
Okay.
This says, to the writer, I know who you are. Your misinformation is quite telling. I don't know where you thought I was a pacifist. It's in some really shady font. Whereas I have fought tooth and nail since the founding of this kingdom. If you muster the courage to join in on our patrol, I will honor you with a bout. We can see how you fare without hiding inside your armor. Until that day, what right do you have to say anything about the clans of Darvishan? Coward.
Dang.
So that was from Wilhelm.
And so he says he knows who it is, and the only hint that he really gave in there is that they wear armor.
Yeah, they have armor.
Interesting.
Like legit armor.
So that was from Wilhelm. Now, I received more messages from this.
Are they anonymous? How are you
They are
receiving
anonymous.
these messages?
Apparently, they like to leave them in my office in the castle
Oh,
while I'm not there,
well, maybe they're doing that because you're the ambassador and they know you're not there.
I guess. I mean, apparently, while I'm out, in other lands and villages trying to recruit more players and,
Right.
and people, that's when they do it. So apparently, we need to tighten the security in the castle.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I mean, because Daveen hasn't received a single message.
Yeah, and you know who I blame?
Who's that? North? He's over here laughing at
He's
the
over here
messages.
laughing. He's all like, I'm sitting on my throne to lie. Screw you
All
guys.
right, yeah, what are you guys talking about? Sorry, I got distracted.
You know, we were just talking about how the messages were being received because I haven't gotten one. And you both have, clearly. So
Yeah, and I gave these messages.
Yeah, I
to
got the
all
anonymous
the
message to him,
channels.
but this is
Oh,
totally anonymous to me. Like, I'll show them to you afterward. They're not even written in a way that would help me
Oh,
tell
okay.
Yeah.
who it is.
So
Smart.
I think you should go ahead and read those messages.
Okay, so this one says, this is what it says. It says, Mercer, the sweet grandmotherly Mercer, always making sure everyone is fed. But watch out for the sword under her cloak, or you could be the next feast.
What?
And
Now
then
they're
it says-
coming after marshals?
Now they're
And it
coming after
says-
the magistrate because
it-
Mercer is not a marshal.
Right.
And then it says, Fenrir approaches, Ragnarok comes.
Oh, wow.
So there's some ominous stuff. And then we have, is there one I'm missing?
No, there was 3.
Okay.
That's
They-
it.
They didn't call you out. All right.
Yeah.
Funny
This
how
one
that
says
works, huh?
Marshal Daveen.
Oh,
an-
what? Oh, read this.
An elf that can't slide down steps on his shield, use a bow, make cookies, or make presents for kids. No wonder he seems so grumpy. Always trying to kill his leader, Magistrate North. Fenrir approaches, Ragnarok comes.
Oh,
and then
man.
finally, we have... Or do you want to respond to
you know what?
that? or-
No, I have no response.
You know
They're
what?
right. I don't
You wanna
slide
read this
downstairs
one?
on my shield. I
You
don't
should
make
read that
cookies
one.
or make presents for kids.
You should read that one.
Oh, God. Okay. Magistrate North, the great leader of Darvishan, dies
That's me.
every
Oh,
time
dang.
he steps into battle.
Okay, that's me.
Usually to his own marshals.
Okay, that's
Quite the
that's on you.
inspiring leader. Fenrir approaches. Ragnarok comes.
All right.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Why you keep killing me? And they're
So-
talking about you killing me. You know that, right?
No, nah.
Yeah.
Did I
yeah.
kill you today?
No, because I didn't play.
You played in zombies.
Yeah, but I was on the same team as you.
I still could have killed you and ran away. Left you to left you to be food for the zombies.
Oh man,
That's
So-
wild.
So
Alright.
now we've had the rider
The plot thickens.
that has attacked all of the clans.
And now they're attacking.
Now they're
marshals.
attracting
attracting.
the attention of the
That's
That's why they
That's
didn't call
fair.
you out.
Oh, getting roasted.
Okay.
Anyway,
marshmallows.
so now they're coming at marshals and
Yes.
magistrates.
yes.
And which is interesting because I actually said earlier, I was like joking because I know it's not me,
Right.
but I was jokingly saying, "Oh, well, it's not one of the. At least they didn't call out the marshals."
I said that last
And
week on
then-
the podcast.
And then
Yeah.
bang!
See,
Oh well,
way to be.
it's your fault.
It probably
It
is. They
is your
heard. They
fault.
listened to the
Yeah.
podcast and went, "Ooh, idea!
Yeah.
Let's attack everyone." Craziness.
So now, okay, first we blame North for the lack of security in the castle, that this is being left in my office.
True.
Then I blame you for calling us out on the podcast for not getting attacked, and now we're attacked. So therefore,
Hey.
the blame lies on you guys.
I
I'm not a finger pointer.
have at least returned not returned. I have gotten back the town gold. So
That is true. And I do think it's important to be said. Hold on, this is important. Somebody, well, I don't even know that it's a problem saying who. Wilhelm brought me the coin from the other land that he had promised today,
Yeah.
and it went into our town coffer.
Okay. I need to
Oh, no.
point of clarification. You got the gold back?
somebody did.
I'm pretty
I
sure
ended
that
up with the gold back because
Okay,
I'm
so
able to now.
So
The coffers are full enough that I'm able to, people are. I'm able to
just stop.
dispense the copper throughout the town.
Just
you
stop
know?
because you didn't do it. It was
Well, I'm
returned on
saying
the
that-
week that you weren't there.
Yeah, but I ended up with it.
But your statement
I
was,
feel like this
I
is
got
a
the
silly
gold
argument.
back.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
you gave it to me. Are you the gold thief?
no, we already point in clarification was that it was cricket.
God, you just said who it was.
We've talked about
We've
this.
talked about the dude.
the podcast?
Yeah,
Oh.
you're stressing us out, man.
Wow, like hello.
All right, so let's talk about events because we got a
Right.
lot going on, right?
Yes.
So let's get to that. You want to take over here, but June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Let's start with that. That's this
Yeah.
upcoming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I assume this is going to be released like Wednesday at
Yep.
midnight. So,
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's start with Friday. Friday, we have the Country Day Parade.
Mm-hmm.
We are meeting at 5:00. We don't have a location yet. We'll let you know as soon as we do. We'll probably make a post on Phlarp's page and probably put it in the chat as well.
Yes,
That starts at 6:00, but we
Yes.
have to be there at 5.
correct.
Right.
Do
And
we
so-
have any idea how long the parade lasts?
No.
It's usually like an hour.
I'm assuming.
half hour, an
right.
hour.
I'm assuming an hour.
Okay, so we'll assume an hour. But
Yeah.
we're gonna be walking. Like it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want to add to that at all?
I know that day from 3 to 8 is when we are allowed to set up our booth.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It's very important that everybody knows that we're not having to pay. We've already paid. Like we just pay an entry fee for the parade, and then anybody can go. So like I know some people can't make it because they did talk to me today and say, "Oh, I had to work. I couldn't get off." That's fine. But if you can be there, even if even if we have to come get you, basically to make sure that you're there, do everything you can to be there.
Yep.
You'll help a ton by just being there. The
And
more
I can-
people we can
right.
have, the
Yes.
better.
Yeah, and
we need like
also
a big showing.
this
where we
is
don't look
important.
Like a little piddly group.
if you're listening to the podcast, please acknowledge how important this is. If you can't be there, do not put it in the chat. Do not tell people you're not
Right.
going. If you need a ride, we'll figure it out. Put it in the chat, whatever. I can come down early on Friday, make sure I pick up a few people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we need everybody there that can be there. We don't need people saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't be there." We
Right.
get it. We know you're sorry. Like, stuff happens, work happens, family happens, like, it happens.
Agreed.
Just don't be putting in the chat, please.
Mhm.
It
Right.
deters so many people from wanting to come out. Like, oh, well, I don't want to go out now because Lord Rand can't be there, if that were the case.
Right.
Mhm.
And so just don't do that, please.
Now, I am off on Friday. I requested off Friday. So I'm off that whole day.
Okay.
So like you said, if anybody needs rides, whatever, let me know. Also, Mercer did say that if it's somewhere down by like Weber Road, I think, or something. Anyway, she said that if she needs to shuttle people down there and she can park so that people aren't walking a long distance to get to the beginning, then she will do that. I can help, shuttle people,
Cool.
whatever. As soon as I find out on both where the start is and also where our booth is going to be, as soon as I get that information, I'm going to put it out in the Phlarp chat.
Cool.
Also, I don't know how you feel about this, being that, players can only be 15 and above, but what about
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Walking.
Whatever they think is
If
their
they wanna be in
minimum.
the parade,
Yeah, don't,
bringing their
it's
kids?
whatever they say, whatever the parade says. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, because we usually have kids in country days or whatever. So, I mean, if you want to bring your kids that are somewhat responsible enough to walk in the
Right.
parade,
Yeah.
I mean, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It's up to the parade people on whether if they're okay with it, I'm okay with it. It don't matter to me.
I don't think they have a problem. So,
The most important thing is most of these events you have to pay per person.
yeah,
For the parade, we don't have to do that.
Right.
We're paying one flat rate. We could have like 100 people there.
Yep.
Like if they'd all show up or whatever. Which
Right.
I get it. People work and whatever, but
right.
just if you can make it at all, please do.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm giving 50 XP to anybody that does go to the parade and 100 XP to those that are in full costume.
Cool.
So,
Are you going to be in there in elf ears?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to embarrass myself. Might as well embarrass myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And by embarrass myself, I mean judge all the people that are judging me.
I'm actually going to show up. Like, I have my face paint as the Ultimate Warrior today.
yeah, I appreciate the enthusiasm there.
I'm actually thinking about doing one of the KISS band members.
Speaking of which, Kiss My Anthea in role models was awesome. I know that's like a really squirrel brain thought, but I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel brain?
Squirrel brain.
Maybe that should be the code word.
Squirrel brain.
Squirrel
Oh, we're
brain.
going to change it now.
So we're gonna change it. So what happens if
And
somebody
then when they
goes
come
and
up,
gets the other
yeah.
code word? I'm just gonna say that wasn't the code
Oh,
word.
you
That
Put
wasn't
it
the code
in
word.
We're
another
going to
one.
be like, oh, you didn't listen to the whole thing, did you?
Yeah.
So squirrel brain.
Squirrel brain.
Okay.
That's the code word.
The code word is squirrel brain. The
Instead
other
of-
one, no good.
Yes.
Instead
so,
of, should we just not say it? Is
Scramble
it going to be confusing?
brains.
Oh, yeah, scramble.
Yeah.
So it's squirrel brain now.
squirrel brain.
That's going to be so much easier to use in a sentence.
Yes. It is.
Agreed. Anyway,
Okay.
Anything else?
And then Saturday
Yeah.
is all day, all night.
right.
Well, until it gets shut down.
And to be clear, we go to the booth after the parade too. So if
Yes.
if somebody wants to try to host the booth, I think I'll be there until like close on Friday or whatever at
Right.
the booth. Saturday I'll be there as much as I can. Probably most of the time. I've told everybody I'm doing this thing, so I don't work or anything. I do work on Friday, but I get off at right at 5, so I'm gonna go. And I'm a little earlier. I think I'm gonna be able to get off a little bit earlier so I can get my costume and everything on. But feel free. Anybody else that wants to host, help us host. Feel free to come out if you want to bring a little something to sell. That's fine too. So
No food.
right, no prepackaged food or anything like that. So
No food. Can't sell drinks.
okay.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, because of vendors,
Sure.
outside vendors
I
have
get
paid
it.
for that. So,
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
and like he said, the parade and the booth fee, they're all paid.
And
Yeah.
And I'll do this too. I'll do one better. If we need you for like, so if there's too many people showing up, or we, have somebody else more qualified, is loosely termed, but there to already host, then we may not, need you basically. But I'll even give hourly XP to whoever hosts. So if you
Sure.
go to host the booth, I'll log you in and log you out when you leave or whatever. That way, there's like a little bit of a benefit to you being there.
Sure.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. And then Sunday, I believe it closes down at noon.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the last few years it shuts down like between noon and 2 a.m. or something, or
And
2
Wow.
p.m.
and usually Sunday on that day, I think they do like a band for cheaper because they're trying to get. That's the day they have the least business, so they're
Right.
trying to make sure that they can get as many people as they can. So it'll start winding down naturally.
Sure.
And we're still going to do LARP like regular at the park. What we'll do is we'll leave a few people behind if we have to. It'll be a couple marshals. It might be me. However we got to do it to help wrap up. But we are still going to do LARP that day. So
Mhm.
Cool.
in fact, I think that's the day of the tournament.
It is.
So there's another thing.
Yeah.
Chronologically, like the next thing would be Vix's tournament, and
Right.
she has gotten like prizes and stuff that she bought to like give out.
That
so,
seems cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I have talked with Mercer Stitch about the food for that day, or that Sunday at the park, and
Oh yeah.
I was talking about maybe having some form of barbecue, and so I might give donation to her so that she can get whatever she needs.
Cool. I'm good with
Because
that.
with it being a tournament, it should be a great day. Everybody's going to be kind of already wore out because of country days.
True.
So why not, make sure our players and heroes eat fairly well.
Sure.
So
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then that's country days.
that's
right?
country days.
And then the only other thing that I would add is that June 24th is coming up. That's the Firecracker Run. I know I've already signed up. I know Chris
I
has already
have.
signed up.
I have not yet,
Um,
but
so
I will do that soon.
Make sure you do that. The first 100 people get
I need
shirts.
to.
I don't know if we're there yet. We may not.
I don't know.
But either way, the point is June 24th. It was $30 a person if you do it before. I believe it was June 9th.
Oh, so did
And then after
so
that,
I-
it's more expensive.
so I did make it or didn't? June.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can still do it.
You can still
June
do it.
9th is the cutoff. So I don't know if that means you got to do
Yeah.
it at June 8th. I'm not really sure how that works, but
Yeah.
And then there is one thing in between there, the trash bash.
oh right,
Oh.
which is the Monday after
Mhm.
Country Days. Yeah.
Yes, and we have done one entire side of the highway. I don't even think we're going to try to mess with that side this time. We're going to try to walk across as a group, I think, and do the other side. So,
Okay. Cool. And that will be. I can get a
June
calendar.
5th.
June 5th. There you go.
okay.
So Monday, June 5th.
It's a busy
and it's
week
was it
coming
5
up.
o'clock? Is you roughly when you guys meet?
Yeah, I think so. That's what they settled on was 5.
Okay. Cool.
So that's pretty much what we have going on right now. And I mean, we're going to be stretched a little thin, but I mean,
They'll be all right. We'll pull together.
we always do.
Yep.
Because we are Phlarp.
And Phlarp is we.
And also on, I guess, Sunday, it will be, we're still doing like a podcast that night, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That Sunday, I'll know about property. Like, I'll
Oh.
know for sure whether I'm either getting it or not, essentially.
Cool.
I
Well,
should.
We'll talk about
Should
that
know.
that Sunday. That's next Sunday. Yeah.
Because
That's a
it'll
week
pass
from
my
today.
closing date.
Yep.
Like, that'll fall within this crazy week we got going on.
Cool.
Yep. I think that's all we got.
I think so too.
Cool.
So
Well-
this was a spicy episode, so let's hear it.
Well, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
And we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.